Hey guys, what's going on, everybody? Back with more Flesh and Blood this evening. Tonight, I'm going to start an adventure of learning Uzuri. I'm actually really curious to learn more about this deck. Nick's hanging out with us tonight. He's helping us jam some games. Say hi, Nick.
What's up, guys?
So I've never really played Uzuri. I've played against it a couple of times, but not a lot. This is a list that a buddy of mine sent me. My buddy Taylor, out in North Carolina. Shout out to him for hooking me up with a cool list. So I'm hoping to start here and kind of learn more about it as we go. Just kind of see if we can figure it out. Gonna be honest, I don't know a lot about Uzuri. I don't really know how to play against it or with it. So he sent me a list that has a lot of these matchups built in. Thank God. So let's click on Bravo and see what we get here. So we only have the same daggers. We're on Black Tech Whisperers instead of Snapdragons, and we're on 63 cards. We're not playing Down and Dirties, Inertia Traps, Fealty Traps, or the Plague Hive. We're playing everything else, though. Okay, curious to see how I pilot this deck. So if you guys are hanging out and you guys are here for the first time, one, I appreciate you guys coming by, but two, if y'all are here and you're hanging out to like watch Uzuri gameplay, I'm gonna apologize in advance. Tonight is more about me learning Uzuri than anything. So Nick will probably bully us for a little bit. Let's go ahead and arsenal that. Feel like that's where we want to be. Plus, I figure not attacking, like we're just gonna keep Nick from filtering here, which I like quite a bit. Reaction cards and attack action cards. All right, well, Nick was playing the 66 cards into us. And we were on 62. I don't really feel the need to play my reaction here that I have set up. So I mean, we could block 3, and so we have a 10-point turn, or we serve 9 with the potential of more here. I do like the idea of keeping this card. I'm going to take 6 here. I don't know that this is correct, but I'm going to take 6 here and see what happens. I don't feel like taking 6 off the bat is how you're supposed to play Uzuri. Oh, man. So Nimblism, and then we'll go Infect for 6. Infect's actually a pretty cool card. I was like, the fact that it gives a Pox token on hit's a pretty sweet card. All right, so currently we're coming over for 3 if Nick doesn't have another defense reaction here. So we come over for 3 and put Nick to 37 and give him 2 Pox tokens here. So if we block with, we can block Leave No Witnesses Codex here. Or I give Nick the Leave No Witnesses. So if I give Nick the Leave No Witnesses, the Black Tech Whisperers, and the Sink Below, I take 3, go to 31. Nick goes to 33. And then I have... Then I have a decent turn, and I still get the Arsenal card. So, I mean, that seems fine. Plus, Leave No Witnesses is not going to get its effect because Nick doesn't have an Arsenal card here, so... Hey, Bam, what's up, brother? Book it. That's right. I wonder if we're supposed to bottom something off the Sink Below here. I don't think so. I think we're just supposed to keep our hand here. Like, our hand's very good. This also works with the Isolate having Dominate's pretty good. I got 600 that your next card drawn is the Magisterial Cow of Murfreesboro. Well, man, let me tell you, I hope you're right. Because I've never heard of this card, and I really want to read the text on it. Because it sounds like it has a cool text box. I feel like considering we took 6, we're not really in a bad spot to start the game. We took 6 when I probably shouldn't have. So, how was your Tuesday? It was pretty good. Ballad bought a new clinic, a urology clinic in Kingsport, and so I was there all day helping them set up and go live inside of Epic, which is like our software that we use. So I was helping them today. So it wasn't bad though. How about you? How was your Tuesday, brother? And then if Nick has a defense reaction, he can still flash it in here. So Nick has 3 cards, so I'm going to name a pitch value of 3. And he's going to reveal Crippling Crush, Buckling Blow, Cranial Crush. I'm going to discard the Cranial Crush. Or banish it, I suppose, I guess is the correct... Ugh. I don't really like any of this, if you want the truth. I guess I'm just gonna Sink Below here, since I know that Nick's gonna be arsenaling his Crippling Crush that he has. Nice, it was good, rainy. It rained a lot here too today. It was really weird, but I'm glad you had a good day, man. I think we're gonna keep this card here. I think we're going to put this on the bottom. That's weird. I don't know how I feel about any of this. All right, so now I got to map out my hand here. Also had a book show up. We had a tornado warning last night. Oh, dude, that sucks. I'm sorry you guys had a tornado warning. That's tough, man. I mean, I'm glad you had a book show up, but I hate that about the tornado. Tornadoes are honestly one of those things that I'm very afraid of. So this is card with stealth. So we go hurl, codex, discard this, play that, and then play that, and then arsenal a card. That seems like the best line of play to me. There might be a better line here. Maybe I'm supposed to go hurl into something else. Unrelated, but there's suddenly a lot of empty space across the street if you want it. Oh, that's sick, Ben. I love it. Hey, what's going on, Taylor? How are you, brother? Tornadoes be scary? Dude, tornadoes, like, honestly, that's like one of my most irrational fears. Is like the fact that we get like swept up by a tornado, but we live in the mountains, so it's not super likely. So, but it does scare me. If I'm being completely real with y'all. So Nick just takes 3 here. Maybe I'm supposed to... Let's do this. Maybe I'm not daggering enough. Maybe that's how Nick runs me out of cards if the game goes long enough, is if I'm not daggering enough. I don't know. It also feels like that's just a hand that I want to play out, but I don't mind pitch stacking a couple reds every hand or two, just to kind of keep our deck like set up pretty well. So the way everyone talked about tornadoes in Nashville, I was convinced I'd see one every time we went to Nanny Tate's as a kid. I mean, dude, so like, honestly, like tornadoes were really talked up when I was a kid. Like, there are two things that I thought I was going to have to be significantly more afraid of than I am, and that is tornadoes and quicksand. I thought quicksand was going to be a bigger problem as an adult. I think we're just throwing the leave no witnesses here because it's just a 0 for 4 that Nick has to block. So we throw the leave no witnesses here. Now Nick can give us Crater Fist and Crown of Providence if he wants to here, but the Frailty token actually means if he's throwing his Crippling Crush at us, that is for 10, which is super relevant. Super relevant. Way more people were supposed to offer me free drugs. Well, I'm sorry you were disappointed that not enough people offered you free drugs. I do have to say, that was also really preached as a kid. Like, people were always like, oh, don't do drugs. Like, people will give you drugs. I don't think I've ever met an adult who would give me drugs. I mean, I take that back. Like, I probably have some friends who would probably enjoy the idea of me getting high with them. But, I mean, I'm talking, like, real drugs. I mean, I'm talking, like, crack or, like, you know, something that'll kill you. Okay, so Nick using Crown to take 2 here, and basically... So, did you know that the Leave No Witnesses banishes your arsenal too?
Yeah.
Okay, I was just making sure. All right, so we get a silver back. We're going to go... CNC, then Razor's Edge, and then we'll arsenal the card that we drew. We drew a pretty good one. This is an interesting hand. Gonna be honest, I really don't know how I feel about it. That's because they're expensive, lol. That's also very true. They are very expensive. All right, so Nick's probably gonna go with no seismic surge. This is gonna be a 12-point turn more than likely because he's gonna go rouse into hammer arsenal a card. If Nick had a surge, I would be afraid of a 3 for 8 here. What does my turn look like? That's the real question here. Feels like my turn looks like dagger 7, which means it should be dagger 7 block 3. I think that's definitely the better play here. I hate to block with one of these, but I hate blocking with an isolate, but I definitely think that's the play. Hammer being for 5 puts us to 22 here. E-Strike, isolate, Death Touch, Codex. Oh, so you were going to go E-Strike, putting isolate on the bottom, play isolate, use Uzuri to put Death Touch in, Whisperers to give it go again, and then Codex to Tunic play it? Or no? No? Alright, I'm way off then. I have no idea what's going on here. I do like the line of go again off the E-Strike, putting the Codex into the bottom, and to play our isolate and see what Nick does. Oh, you were saying no to me blocking. You were saying that's what you were going to do. Gotcha. No, I mean, that makes sense. I love that line. I said no to you blocking with isolate. Yeah, me blocking with isolate kind of like ruined that line. And this is why I talked about at the beginning of the stream that tonight's going to be a for sure trial and error situation for me to figure out how I miss playing Uzuri. And then we'll see what happens here. Nick currently can't cover 6, which is the relevant breakpoint or the relevant number off of an Uzuri activation. But if Nick has a defense reaction in hand, he can block 3. And then if it's not a Command and Conquer, he can play his defense reaction here. Think of this deck as a disruptive Rune Blade. I mean, that's a really good way to look at it. I'm just like, I'm still just like, my brain is having to wrestle with like how to play this deck. The other Uzuri list as a Oldhim, this is Briar. Well, let me tell you, I picked the wrong list then, because Oldhim is definitely more my speed than Briar. But I mean, I just want to learn how to play Uzuri in general, and I don't think there's really going to be a way for me to get better. Get better with the deck, or really just at this game in general. So Nick kept 3 cards and his arsenal. He decided not to block because he couldn't cover it up, and he probably didn't want to get blown out by a shakedown, which makes me think that Pox is going to be the most relevant here. That's just kind of where I'm at right now. The other list is what I expect all Oldhims to play. Interesting. I should have looked more at that list then. You said this list was like the more aggro-y list, and I'm not going to lie, that kind of excited me. The idea of playing aggro like kind of excites me. I haven't played aggro since Fi and ProQuest season in January, which I know was like only 5 months ago, but still. So rabble this. I mean, we block 3 here. And we have a pretty good hand to throw back. I think that's fine. Guys, for what it's worth, I know that I missed Taylor's line earlier, but if you guys are watching this and you all see a line that is better or something I should have done, please let me know. Throw it up in the chat. I am not offended by backseat gaming. Y'all can just like let me have it as it goes on. See, don't block. Taylor already said don't block, so I should have kept my shred, it sounds like. There's got to be an aggro pun in there somewhere with it being your name, but I can't come up with one. See, you would think that there would be one, and I've thought this multiple times, but I've never been able to come up with one myself. Are you serious? A blue on top? Never didn't have it, huh? That's disappointing. Looks like we blocked with the wrong card. Yeah, punt is right. So now that we know that's a blue on top, we're going to save our other rabble for Arsenal here and try to set up with a 5-card hand. This is also a card that demands to be blocked. If Nick has a sink below in his like Arsenal, it's like just kind of a blowout. I mean, if Nick was playing in the blind, aside from me talking out loud, he probably is playing around something here. But I'm not sure. I don't really know how you play around Uzuri. It's probably why I'm so bad at it. Oh, Lord. Oh, defense reaction incoming. No. All right, well. Okay, so let's figure our turn out here. So my first thought is dagger, rabble, block with one of our blues. Yeah, and then we're going to go dagger, rabble into the last 2 cards in our hand. I could also just block 6 here. Not throw dagger, go rabble, and then the 2 cards in our hand off of Tunic. Block with surgical and rabble. Block with surgicals. Yeah, so block 6 with the surgicals, and then play the other 2 cards that are in my, or the other 2 cards in my hand and in my arsenal. So see, that's also, that was the second line that I come to. So okay. So it sounds like, at least for me for a while, what I do second is going to be better than what I think of doing first with Uzuri, which which is not that surprising. I'm one of those people that like really has to like learn things and understand them. Am I about to just give up flick knives here? If I go, I mean, or maybe I'm just supposed to block with 2 cards here. Maybe I'm just supposed to go block 6, take 3, go to 14, and then throw the card in my arsenal and then arsenal the spike here is what I'm thinking. You actually wanted to save that block for the second attack, as the minimum attack would be 6 for the hammer. Yes, you are correct. That also would have made sense, because then I could have just blocked 6 here and I wouldn't be in the predicament that I'm in. Yeah, we're gonna block 6 here and keep our hand. I mean, my hand's pretty good, so me blocking poorly cost me some points right there. Now, the good news is that I still get to have the turn that I want, basically. Yeah, we got a red that time. Let's go. I mean, I guess if we get in a really bad spot, we can always just pay 3 to draw a card with a silver. No, don't block with flick knives. They're the best tool to finish the game. I know it's a great card, but I mean, I didn't know which card I'm supposed to block with for my hand. Like, am I supposed to block with Wither, play the Rabble, and then arsenal my last card? Like, is that my line of play there if I'm not blocking with the flick knives? Because if I block with the Tunic, my hand no longer works the way I want it to, which means I might as well block with 2 cards from hand. I definitely don't feel like blocking with flick knives was correct, but it was probably more correct to block with 2 cards from hand, because I mean, Nick's at 8 and I'm like kind of like nearing the point where like I can almost try to kill him. Yeah, arsenaling a stealth card is fine. So you would have blocked with a spike there, and you would have arsenaled the Wither there. Arsenaling stealth is fine due to Uzuri ability. I mean, I know it's fine. I just spike with Blood Rot's like an insanely good card. Is that not a better card than having the stealth card in Arsenal? And that's a genuine question. Like, I'm not arguing. I'm asking your all's opinion. So I can block 3 here. Well, I don't know your deck. Maybe your react is better. Gotcha. It's situational in my opinion. Okay, I mean, that makes sense. So the first option I see is block Razor's Edge, E-Strike, and then just go E-Strike for 7. Just put the pressure on. The other line that I like is I can go to 8 here, which is a little risky. And then I can, because we've seen 2 Sink Belows, which means I can go Sedate, Razor's Edge, or actually I get to go again into this, so it's an 11-point turn. It's an 11-point turn with an on hit. Or I can just block 6 and throw 7. I definitely feel like I'm just supposed to block 6 and throw 7 here. Seems crazy not to... No block, E-Strike, the other E-Strike, and play Sedate and Arsenal Razors. Okay, so I have picked different lines than almost everybody this game. Oh, man. I think it's telling me all I need to know. So we'll come in for 7 here. Yeah, if that, like, if I had seen that chat, like, just a second sooner, I would have taken that line. So E-Strike, bottoming the E-Strike, and then play Sedate. Azuri is a hard deck to master. At this point, I feel like Azuri is a hard deck for me to play well at all, much less master. I feel like I'm not playing very, very cleanly right now, but I feel like a lot of that is to do with the fact that I've never played Azuri, so it's very, very new for me. Am I lagging? Is it me?
No, it's me. I'm thinking.
Oh, no, that's fine. I was just making sure. Sometimes I'm lagging on Talishar and I don't even realize it, so we get Buckling Blow, Buckle, and Iron Rot Legs here. I mean, we can block 6 and then throw 6 back. Block, Isolate, Shred, and then throw Nimblism, Isolate at Nick for 6. So, I mean, I don't know. Seems fine. Throwing Isolate definitely feels better when I have... When I have something I can Azuri in there. I mean, maybe I'm just supposed to block 8 there and then just arsenal my Isolate. Okay, so Nick takes 4. I don't even really know what we'd shuffle back in here. Activate Bravo is scary. So we're going to take 6 here. Which seems fine. That play was fine. Okay, cool. Spinal Crush not really doing a ton of work there with the way our hand was set up, so... Isolate was better to keep to push the damage. Oh, I see what you're saying, because that has Dominate. I could have blocked... If I block with the Sedate, playing the Isolate's the same thing. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, you're right. That was just a better play for sure. So Sink Below, we resolve the Command to Conquer, that gets put into play, and then nothing happens. And then, do I want to play this now? Like, am I just... I mean, I don't see a reason to not play this. So... Shuffling Codex, we shuffle in E-Strike, and... Shuffling to Leave No Witnesses. I'm just kind of guessing here. I like Pitch the Blue, Isolate for Spiders, Tunic, CNC better. Yeah, that's also a 7-point turn. That's actually a really good line. Well, the Spinal Crush would have prevented me from... I Go Again was turned off. If a Go Again was a possibility there, then I think that's a really good line. So let's think about our lines here. So this is only for 4. I think I want to block 3 here with the Leave No Witnesses. Go Dagger, Dagger. Yeah, I think that's our line here. I think that's what we're trying to do this turn. It seems like a decent line. Just isolate? Oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying use isolate, the Razor's Edge, and the Shred to just push over the top there. That was also, yeah, that was also a good play. Good line here. The reason I thought dagger here is because Nick has no equipment left to block to a block with. So he's just stuck giving me cards or taking damage here. But yeah, the Shred and the Isolate probably would have just closed out the game. But now you can nerve Scalpel. Yeah, using Tunic to come in with Scalpel here after the Spider's Bite is very good. We get to use both of our daggers. I also think it's really funny that Spider's Bite is a rare now. Or no, it's a common now. It was a rare at first when it first got printed, and now it's like a rare. Because I remember, like, I can't remember if I won one at an armory. Like, was Spider's Bite an armory promo? Or what? Or I don't know how I got a cold foil one, but I just remember, like, randomly having a cold foil one, thinking, oh, wow, like, I'm going to sit on this. This will be worth some money one day. And then they print Spider's Bite as, like, a common in this, like, last set. So go for the win here. Oh, we do get to push over 1 point though. Nick goes to 3 because that was in his hand. This is actually a really sweet turn. So we get to go Spider's Bite off of this, off the yellow Isolate, and then we get to go blue Isolate into that, use Whispers. Yeah, this is a sweet line. Pitching the blue does nothing here for us, so we might as well just save the blue. They're both Isolates, so not that it really matters what, like, they're both going back into our deck. And then we're going to activate Uzuri. So Nick has Unmovable. Shakedown still hits for 1. I'm going to activate Whispers here. I'm going to name 3 pitch value. We get rid of his last card, and then we come in with Leave No Witnesses for 4 and cross the finish line. All right, good game, man. I'm not going to lie. I did not think I was going to get there. And Uzuri's hard. Gonna run it back?
Yep, for sure.
I was like, this is definitely one of those things that I need as much practice into as I can get. I think we're just gonna Arsenal here. So right now we can go. Right now we have a couple of options, I feel like. Isolate into Surgical would be my line. Like, play the one from Arsenal, do this, and then I can pitch either the other probably pitching the Isolate here. Probably pitching the E-Strike to play the Spike to push it over the top. That's actually a really sweet line. Well, no, Spike won't push it over the top, will it? So if you're going Isolate into Surgical, are you blocking with 6 cards or 9 here? Like, or are you blocking 6 or 9 here? Oh, you meant turn 0. Gotcha. Okay. So, I mean, I don't really want to throw anything at Nick turn 0. And so this is definitely a pummel. At least it feels like it. So we're just going to crown and take our 5-card hand and see what we can do from here. So we have Spider's Bite, Nimblism, Isolate, Spike, Arsenal to Blood Rot. I mean, it seems like a pretty solid line here that we can take. Push through a pretty hefty amount of damage here, I feel like. Spiders into E-Strike for 10. So E-Strike for 10, and we get to Arsenal that. I mean, that also makes sense. Yeah, because that's... So this is for 9 with a Pox token, or this is for 10. And I get to Arsenal a card either way. I don't know. I don't know if I like the Spike line better there or not. It's just hard to block with spiders. I mean, that's fair. It is very hard to block with Spider's Bite after it hits. There are certain times when I feel like I just kind of like you kind of have to just like make a soul read and just like say that like the Nerve Scalpel is going to be better if you can't play both. I mean, I guess I could have pitched the Isolate to play both of them, but I don't really like that option. Think I'd rather hang on to that. Oh, this hand feels sweet. So, block. So I feel like this is a good card to Arsenal here. So if we block Infect and Whispers, he's going to put a counter on our Flick Knives, which is fine. And I might as well get the point out of Black Tech here. And then I get to go Rabble, Isolate, and Uzuri in our card here. And then we get to Arsenal this. Don't block with Boots, so just block with... I mean... It feels right to block with Boots here because... He's probably going to give it a counter here. I don't know. Nick probably targets the Flick Knives anyway, honestly, because the Flick Knives, like we want to block with that late game and get value out of it. So maybe keeping the Boots is better here. It's very possible. Yeah. So I could pitch this and Tunic to come in with Spider's Bite. I think I'd rather have this in my arsenal. I think that's a better setup card than it is in anything. And we have a Razor's Edge on top, which I think those two, the card that we're about to Arsenal and Razor's Edge pairs really well together. So Taylor said all the Oldham players are going to be playing that other list, so I'm really curious to see what that looks like. You could also Isolate and shred it to Arsenal CNC. So, I mean, we could shred that, but is like there's nothing that has a relevant on-hit effect there that we're shredding, so I don't really know why we would shred that. Like in Arsenaling the CNC is like feels not great because Nick still has Crown up. The best time that we can get CNC up is when we can Uzuri it in. If we have to play it, we know he's just going to get value off Crown. But, I mean, I don't know. Maybe having like a extra big attack in Arsenal is just better. Tunic is up, so any blue is Spider's Bite into CNC. All right, let's try it that way. I still don't like the whole shred on this thing. Like, I don't... Feels like we're just kind of pushing damage here. And I feel like Uzuri's best thing is disruption. I don't know. Maybe I don't really understand the whole line of like what we're going for here, but like I understand we're trying to push damage through, but it feels like a waste of a shred to me. I could be wrong though, who knows? So we'll shred that and then we'll arsenal this. I really feel like the Razor's Edge could just be a better card. I don't know, like the Razor's Edge giving something +3 seems so like okay at best. You have limited disruption, so CNC without Arsenal is not that great. I mean, that is also true. So make a surge, play Showtime. So E-Strike, bottom Death Touch for go again. Pitch Razor's Edge and Tunic to come in with Command and Conquer. And then we get to Arsenal, our last card. Man, seems pretty good. Seems like a decent turn. Curious to know what Nick gets off of Showtime here. Spinal Crush. Okay. We also have all 3 codexes left in our deck, which give us a pretty hefty amount of value here. I tried multiple Uzuri builds, and I think Redline is kind of mid in my opinion. I mean, that's fair. Like, I'm definitely not saying that by playing this version of the deck that I think this build of Uzuri is the best. I just, like, this was the first one that I happened to try. I haven't really played an aggro deck since, like, ProQuest season in January. I've been playing a lot of Oldhim and other things. So it's definitely possible that like this is not the best build of Uzuri. That there's a better option out there for us somewhere. So Nick takes 4, crowns away his Spinal Crush. So right now I'm thinking block 3, Spider's Bite, our card from Arsenal, holding up this as a reaction, and then we get to Arsenal our Isolate to set up for a better turn. Seems pretty good. Also depends on what Nick does. Nick has a 5-card hand off the back of the Showtime last turn, so my 9-card or my 9-point life lead is probably about to get diminished pretty quick here. Activate Crater Fist. That is terrifying. Uh-oh. 9 Dominate. And on hit, he can destroy our Flick Knives. Well, I think it's fine to give the Whisperers here because we get value out of blocking with them. So we take 5 here, go to 26. And then, I mean, Nick's going to put a counter on our tunic here so that we can't block with it ever, but... destroyed my tunic. Interesting. So, we still have our entire line open to us here. What made you pick tunic there, Nick? Just out of curiosity.
This is where you don't get the extra value out of the extra resource.
Okay. Already seeing the value of Buckle in Bravo right now. Buckle Bravo is so sweet. Hey, did you have those red buckling blows by any chance?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I appreciate you doing that. Appreciate you. I don't know if you had them laying. I don't know if you had them laying around in bulk or what.
Yeah,
I appreciate
I had
it.
them in bulk.
Oh, nice. Do you happen to find buckles anywhere? Does anybody have buckles in the area that we could buy? I was like, because if you buy them, I mean, like, I'll Venmo you for them. I just need them for Bravo.
I thought Blake had them.
So I need one more. Blake had 4 foil ones and a non-foil. Like,
Well, if you get a foil off of him, I got a non-foil. If we can trade somehow,
we can work that out. I don't know how much foil buckles are. I was like, but I'll check.
I think it's like not even a 50 cents difference. I don't think.
Are you serious?
Yeah, might be a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna play our shred here, even if Nick has a sink below. I was like, we're missing the value on it, but I guess Nick, wait and do your sink below after my shred. So let my shred resolve because it'll have to target your visage, and then you can play your sink below now and get more value out of it. It's one of those things we would have done in paper, but click through too fast when you do in person sometimes. I'm gonna give a pox token because it does the same thing either way, and after the hand we drew, I feel like that's a very good decision on our part. Blood Rot 95% against Bravo. So I'm very inclined to agree with you. I actually heard Alexander, we were testing this matchup last night, and he explained it to me as Pox token does what Inertia token does like 9 times out of 10, and so like that's why you pretty much always want to go with the Pox token over the Inertia token, because I've never really considered the Frailty token. That's never real, like, like against Lexi, you get like 3 or 4 points out of a Frailty token, like, in a turn. Inertia token's really good against Lexi too. Same thing against Azalea, but like against Bravo, like he can just swing hammer at you. So Pox kind of covers that role. We'll go Isolate for 3 Dominate. Feels like we're kind of just putting Nick on the back foot every game, like both of our games that we're playing so far. So I'm kind of hoping that we can keep this trend up. I think being on the front foot with the Uzuri aggro deck is a very important strategy. Whew. So we're not going to get a card out of his arsenal here, but we are going to get a card off the top of his deck. And we did get a sink below, so we do get a treasure out of that. Or not a treasure. A silver. Lord, magic's like creeping into the back of my brain right there. So this is actually a pretty sweet hand here. Yeah, this is actually a pretty sweet hand. I'm actually not going to bottom anything because I like all of my hand. But I do like having the sink below there. It is very convenient for us. So we're going to go Spider's Bite here for 1. I really like that these have piercing 1. I feel like the fact that these have piercing 1 give you so much play into the Guardian matchup. Like, I know Oldham had Crown of Seeds and can just, like, oh, Crown, block the thing, you know, like. One of the other things I'm going to be learning to play is Dromai. I'm going to be spending quite a bit of time learning to play Dromai and Uzuri, mostly because if Katsu, Fi, or Bravo are like some of the most like front runner decks, I can just I already have a lot of reps on those decks, so I feel like I'm already in a pretty decent position to make those decks like work for me. So I want to learn how to play Dromai and I want to learn how to play Uzuri before Nats. The other thing that I'm probably going to be spending a lot of time on is Lexi. Those are probably going to be the 3 decks that you all are going to see me being played the most. So if there's like, if something out of that, if there's something that you all want to be played, interesting block by Nick. And I have to say I wasn't ready for that. But it is a good block. So I think we're just going to pass here. And we're just going to Arsenal this. So, sorry, anyway. Those are the 3 decks y'all are going to see me playing the most over the next like couple months. Dromai, Uzuri, and Lexi. So if one of those sounds more appealing to you guys, let me know, and I'll try to work those in more often than not. But those are the 3 decks I'm looking to learn moving forward. All right, so I'm trying to figure out my turn here. So part of me, I honestly kind of feel like our turn is, man, I truly have no idea what our turn is. So we take 4, go to 22. I don't like these cards that say target thing with stealth. I wish it was like target, like, I don't know, like assassin card. Pitch Shred into E-Strike. Codex is not that valuable. Is not that valuable with that hand. Pitch Shred into E-Strike. Are you saying Pitch Shred for as you want to dagger into Death Touch? I must be confused, man. I'm not really seeing the line that you're talking about here. Because if we pitch Shred to go dagger and then we go E-Strike, block 3. Man, I'm having a stroke right now trying to process what you got me blocking 3 for. Oh, you're saying block 3 and then just go Shred into... okay, never mind. I thought you were trying to have me play the Codex in some way here. And I was like, how am I playing Codex here? I mean... I could go Spider's Bite, 5 Codex. Would get multiple cards out of his hand. I mean, that's also not a terrible line of play I could take. I feel like I'm misusing the spikes and the razor's edges here. Like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like that. There's like a 0 for 3 card that just says, it says like it's on card with a contract, but there's also not a lot of contract cards in this deck. So that doesn't really make a ton of sense either. Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to save Codex for a better hand. I don't know. Like, it is very possible that I'm supposed to just hold the Codex. They are good when the hand lines up, but if it doesn't, just block with them, it's fine. Okay. I mean, that's fair. I don't have any problem with that. All right, so Spider's Bite into E-Strike. If Nick's hand is good enough to where he doesn't want to block, then he's going to give us a 16-point life lead here, which is pretty strong. That's a pretty good place to be in this matchup. And if Nick does want to block, then his hand becomes a lot less threatening. So I feel like we're in a pretty decent position right now. Okay. Pitch unmovable to play unmovable. That's unfortunate. So, I mean, I guess the floor of this hand is block 6, throw 6 with Nimblism Sedate. Or I could block, so that leaves me blocking Surgical Command and Conquer. I could always go any Death Touch engrave. Yeah, there's one Death Touch on our graveyard. So 5 go again is all we're doing here. If not spiders, Nimblism into leave is good. I mean, Nimblism into leave no witnesses is a very good play because it's for 7. So Nick doesn't have an arsenal here, which means I can block. So if I block Sedate, Command and Conquer, I get to go Spider's Bite, Nimblism Codex, Death Touch for 9 with a Ponder. That's a pretty good line of play. I'd take that every day. Then Spiders into Nimblism, Death Touch. Yeah, so, all right, cool. I'm glad that I got there before I read the chat. Makes me feel a little bit better about where these games are heading, the fact that I got there. Now, I do understand that... I do understand that you got there before I did because of the delay in the chat and me actually reading it, but I was more referring to the fact that I'm just actually happy that I got there. That's right. I don't think I've done that since like high school, and I've never done it unironically. Nimblism Codex. We get a Death Touch. And then Nick already giving us a card means we know we're going to get cards out of his hand here. Nick got a Command and Conquer. Okay. This is a lot of pressure to be putting on somebody here. I love that when you use emotes on YouTube, it just says elbow cough in my restream chat. Like, that's literally, it actually just says, like, elbow cough. It's really funny. It doesn't actually show the dab emote. This is super over, so I won't backseat game the rest. I mean, I appreciate it, dude. I'm not bothered by you backseat gaming, man. So if I ever made you feel that way, Chris, I'm sorry. I'm not bothered by you backseat gaming at all, brother. So Inertia gets rid of his Command and Conquer, or Pox token puts him to 8. I feel like Pox token's probably the only way to go here. Yeah, I'm okay arsenaling this card. This seems fine. So... yeah, I'm definitely going to use that because this is going to be a pretty sweet line. So we're going to start with Rabble. Rebel hits an infect, so we're coming in for 4. Man. So Nick blocks 4. We're going to go sedate for 3. So Nick blocks 6. We're going to Uzuri. Put in leave no witnesses. And then I'm going to shred the buckling blow. Then I'm going to use Black Tech Whispers. Hope Nick doesn't have a sink below here. And then Nick takes 1. We get his Command and Conquer and a card off the top of his deck. And then we're going to throw leave no witnesses again for 4. And we have 2 silver to actually get back our Black Tech Whisperers here at the beginning of our turn, which is like insanely cracked value. We're also at the point in the game where we can just use Flick Knives to like kind of like push the end game here a little bit better. Because if we reactions for Flick Knives when we have a go again attack on the Spider's Bite, it'll make it to where his attack actions block 1 less the rest of the turn, which is really good. So Nick pitched an unmovable. We've seen a sink below, and then we banished a sink below earlier. So there might be some thought to me actually flicking Nerve Scalpel here. Yes, I will do that. I have no reason to play my Remembrance here, so I'm just going to actually attack with the Spider's Bite. And then we're going to go isolate into our other card. Gone for 20 minutes and looking much stronger. Fast learner. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I've actually had Chris and you from the YouTube chat helping me out a lot. He's been helping me with some of the lines and stuff like that. Dude, this is a tough deck, man. I have to say, like, this is a tough deck. I mean, it's definitely getting easier to understand the more I play, but it's just going to take me a while to learn this deck. That's just kind of the person I am. It takes me a while to pick up on things that are happening. And then we get to Arsenal this. Yeah, this feels really good. So let's go Infect for 3. So we're going to go Razor's Edge for +3, and then we're going to go Shred on the Spinal Crush. And then we're going to give this go again. Hopefully Nick doesn't have a defense reaction. So we give our opponent a Pox token there. Just wait till you play Tao Tao's list. I heard his list was crazy. I heard his list was like actually crazy. So now if Nick has a blue, he's forced to pay for the Pox token to stay alive here, which puts us in a pretty good spot, I would say. So unless I'm going crazy here, we can just Flick Knives to win the game. I might have missed that last turn. Cough, Flick Knives, cough. Yeah. Yeah, I realized that, thank God, because that was going to be a pretty bad one. We have to throw a non-attacking one, right? Is that what it says? You control that isn't on the active chain. So yeah, we'll throw Nerve Scalpel and that does it. Good game, man.
Good game. Let me change the sideboard up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Let's see if we can do a full new sideboard. Did it give you the option to do a full sideboard? Yeah. Oh, it did. Okay, cool. The other night it wouldn't let me do that. It was like giving me some kind of like error message or something. So I don't know what's going on. It's also interesting to me that we're just on sinks. We don't have faiths in this deck, but I think that's kind of the difference between running like the quote unquote red line version of the deck. I mean, how many blues are there in this list? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 blues. Well, I have to tell you guys, this officially counts as the lowest blue count I've ever played ever. That's by far the lowest blue count I've ever played at any deck. Nothing's gonna stop us now. Nah, nah, nah. No, no, no. That's right. 4 elbow cuffs. Back and forth. I'm just... Oh my gosh. Dabbing on people might be like the most like ridiculous thing in the whole world. Ben, you know what? I would love to see you dab. Like, I think that would be hilarious. Oh, nice. This is what I was trying into Alexander last night, dude. I was running Buckler and Titan's Fist, and I was running like all the defense reactions.
Yeah, I just added the red immovables too.
Yeah, that's what I was doing last night. That was actually the game I ended up winning last night when we tested that. I was on unmovables and like I was on the whole, like all the defense reactions. Rut-row, Raggy. Thunderquake, Buckling Blow. So it's going to be Thunderquake after this. Or, I mean, it's going to be Titan's Fist after this, Lord. Having a stroke. So we'll block 6 here. And then when he comes in with the hammer, I'm going to block 3. And keep this in my hand because if nothing else, the stealth is a good arsenal target. So... I mean, maybe I'm supposed to just block 6 here and just stay at 39, but I don't think that... I don't like... The 1 point is probably not the difference maker here if I had to guess. Now, I could be wrong, but... So you pitch Thunderquake, which means there's a Buckling Blow in your arsenal. So we're not going to pay for the hurl, but we are gonna throw the hurl at you. I feel like there has to be a joke in there somewhere. I'm going to hurl this at you. I don't know. I feel like I'm grasping at straws right now, but I feel like that could be a good joke somewhere. Yep. And then we'll go Isolate for 3 Dominate. Isolate is such a good card. Nick has the unmovable. He's going to play it here. Because if not, he can't play it around the Command and Conquer if it is a Command and Conquer. So unmovable covers up Shakedown, which is a pretty good play. Not too shabby. We'll Arsenal our last card here. This might be a silly question. For anybody watching, if Nick blocks with a temper equipment and we shred it, does it kill his equipment? Do you guys know the answer to that? Put this on the bottom. Let's draw a card. That's not too shabby. Yes, it dies. Oh my gosh, that's so good. That's also a very good thing for me to note. Yeah, so we could get rid of Buckler. We could get rid of Crater Fist because of Temper. Wow. The amount of value off of that play is absolutely bonkers. I mean, bonkers. That's dumb. That's big dumb. Cool interaction to know. Gonna be honest, I'm amazed I never got blown out by that while I was playing Oldhim. Like, nobody ever did that to me while I was on Oldhim. Maybe I was subconsciously playing around it and I didn't know it. Nah. Oldhim block. It's all Oldham knows how to do. Block. Block. We'll throw the hurl again. I think there's 2 of these in our list. I can't remember exactly how many there are. Let's look. How many hurls are there? Hurl, 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 hurl. Am I looking past it? Yeah. There's 2 hurls in the sideboard. Okay. So the sideboard guide decided to bring these in for me. I mean, maybe they're designed to be like pitch stacked, and at the end of the game, you just like throw them out there at them to like throw the extra point of damage with daggers. Nope. Oh, we didn't pause anything over here. Wither. But there's a good card. So the funny part is, like, this card in my hand, I feel like we've only played it once or twice. I feel like I've played it twice in 2 games so far. But this card in draft, like, if you're planning on drafting Outsiders anytime soon, and this is like in your pack 1 pick 1, you like almost immediately take this every time. This is such a good card to draft. They are mostly in there for Dromai to kill dragons and still have a turn, but in Redline they're also just a go wide tool. I mean, that makes sense. That would be what we're using them for, because Dromai is a tough matchup. So 5 go again. I mean, I feel like we're just taking 6, letting Nick put a counter on our flick knives, and then we're gonna go 5 go again into use Tunic to push all of this nonsense through. Like, which is just like value. Dagger E-Strike. I mean, there is a lot of value here. So you're saying Dagger E-Strike? So you're saying block 3 and then go Dagger E-Strike? So I can block 3, take 3, give Nick no value off of his thing. Sorry, we might have to undo here after I do some math, Nick.
You're good. You're good.
So I take 3, go to 34. He gets no buckling blow value. And then I get to have 5... Or I'm sorry, I get to have an 8-point turn with blocking 3. Or I get to have 5, 7, 10, 13. I'm not going to lie. I think I like my turn better. I'm definitely open to being wrong here, but I think I like my turn better. I think getting a counter on our flick knives here is worth being able to have. We get 2 extra points, and we get some other text that our cards have that I won't say out loud until after we've played them. I always like to have an arsenal if possible, but yeah, you can do that too. So I mean, yeah, like having an arsenal is like definitely super important. And if like that was like your reasoning behind wanting to have an 11-point turn and keep your arsenal, like yeah, like I guess like your turn is the most value off of the idea that we're keeping our arsenal, because you have 11 points and the card in your arsenal is worth 3 points, or I guess this card's worth 5 in some fashion. So I'm deciding to use it as 5 now, and you're deciding to use it as 5 later, which I don't hate. Like, and then Spike with Blood Rot. So we get to push through 5 points here and a Pox token, which feels pretty good. Pretty good. Do we have anything? I mean, I guess we're looking at Leave No Witnesses is what we're looking at, because I mean the floor of our turn is block 10 and throw 4. with a ponder, which is 14. You have to subtract the 1 value you lose from getting the -1 in your armor. So my turn is for 12 points. And yours is for 11, and I keep an arsenal. So your turn is like almost assuredly better. Like indefinitely better. Nick's turn just being for Titan's Fist tells me that he wants to... It tells me that Nick wants to pay for the Pox token. He's going to arsenal a card. So we can sink below here, but man, the Codex feels like it just does not work here. We pitch Codex, throw this, and then arsenal this. Or maybe we're supposed to go dagger, pitching these into Codex. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not... I'm going to sink this in just hopes of finding, like, maybe a different card. This definitely doesn't feel any better. Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll throw dagger here, and then we'll take our value play. If there was a better line there, I'm not really sure what it is, because Codex being a yellow did not give us the capability to play our pump and play our sedate that was in our hand. So I don't know. If there was a better line, you guys are probably finding it and I'm just not, which is very real possibility. That is, I promise you, a very real possibility from where I'm sitting. So Nick takes 1, his attacks block for 1 less. And then we are going to go get a leave no witnesses, throw leave no witnesses at him. Nick can either give us 2 cards here, or he can just give us crown. That's also an option. Have a 5-card hand. The frailty token is no longer active. And then, yeah, I guess we'll arsenal that. That seems fine. Like, it seems fine. I don't know. It's just a bad hand, but I value the D-React more in arsenal, so using the Codex for dagger was fine as well. Oh, you're saying have the sink below in our arsenal? I mean, yeah, that was definitely an option. This is a super interesting hand, because I kind of smell a pummel here. I don't know, this might be a pummel. We're about to find out. Things gaining attack isn't super relevant for us. Okay. So definitely is a pummel. So that comes in, and that's fine. We're going to go... I'm going to sink... I mean, and I guess I'm just discarding this. Seems fine. We'll throw isolate here. The card that we have in Arsenal, having Tunic come up next turn, does pair very well for us, so I do like that. Nothing's gonna stop us now. Na na na. No, no, no. Yep. I mean, that's fine. We'll just pass here. We got a pretty hefty amount of equipment there out of something that we didn't even use. So I mean, I would call that a win. I can take 3 and so I don't like playing my card in Arsenal here. I think we're just not getting any value off of it, so I think I'm just going to go for the same play that I had last turn. This feels like Nick has an unmovable, or he's just committed to taking whatever we're going to do here. He's just committed to taking it, so means he has a pretty good turn coming, so we're definitely going to go Pox. Try to tax his hand as much as we can. If this is dominate a... yeah, I mean, if this is dominate a... Spinal Crush, then I'm in... Or not Spinal Crush, Crippling Crush. So it is dominate a Crippling Crush. All right, so we have to decide here. Nick's going to go to 13. This is for 11. Okay, so if I block Nimbalism, no matter what happens, I have a good hand. Like, I have a playable hand no matter what happens if I block Nimbalism. If I don't block, I give myself more options. But even then, it's not really great. I think taking 9, so I go to 13. No matter what 2 cards Nick discards here, I still have a playable hand. Because it is random. But if I block with one of my... I could block 3 here. Maybe it's worth taking 11 so I can keep an arsenal. I'm going to take 11 here. All right, Chris said he would just take it, and I said I'm just going to take it before I even see what happens here, so... Nick goes to 13. So, I mean, we have 2 lines here. We can go Dagger CNC, or we can go... Infect, Threaten Uzuri. I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I like the Command and Conquer doesn't feel great here, but it's also the most amount of damage that we can throw. This but the card that we can Uzuri in is pretty sweet here. Dagger Infect. Interesting. That is not a line I would have picked, just based off its lack of power here, but I'll take your word for it. Oh my gosh, are you using that emote in Fortnite that you just got? The dog on fire? I'm not gonna lie, I really like that. Like, one that's a really funny, like, meme in my opinion. Like, I really enjoy that meme as a whole, but like, it's great that they put that emote in Fortnite. So Nick has played 1 pummel. So this is definitely a pummel. I mean, there's absolutely no reason for this not to be pummel here. I think we're blocking 6 here. Yeah, I think this is our play. I mean, it was a blue pummel, so we would have been in a pretty decent spot to just block more. I think we're just discarding our shred here. Now, we don't have go again, which is fine, but we do get rabble here, which ends up being for 4. Block 9, I guess. I mean, blocking 9 would have been fine. Knowing that it was a blue pummel would have helped that theory a lot, but... had this card in my arsenal stuck there for like 5 or 6 turns, and it really makes me miss Crown of Seeds. If you want the truth, I feel like I'm trying to cope with not having Crown of Seeds in the format right now. I mean, I understand before everybody loses their mind that Crown of Seeds is in the format. Okay, so everybody knows what I meant by that. Oldham's about the LL. There's no point in me grinding games with Oldham and trying to practice. I did play Oldham at a Realm Games in 1K this weekend. That was pretty fun. I ended up coming in 10th at that. I missed on breakers at the end, which was a little disappointing, but I mean, you know, it is what it is. I mean, this feels like block 6. And then play our cards from our hand. Oh my gosh. Oh, Nick, let's back up actually. Somebody in the chat just pointed that out. That there is a like really sweet line that I can take here. I did not realize that works that way. That's really cool. I didn't know that you could shred before you actually did the Uzuri, and it still stays on the chain. That's pretty cool. I did not know that. That's pretty sweet. See, Chris, you knowing things like this is like kind of keeping me in the game here. So if Nick has a defense reaction, he's going to play around Unmovable by doing it now. Or he's going to play around Command and Conquer by doing it now. And then we are going to shred the Unmovable anyway. Now, we didn't get his arsenal, but we did get to push some points through there, which is kind of sweet. So being able to do that was actually a pretty sweet line of play. Is that the second one of these I've seen? Yeah, it's the second one. Ruh-roh. So it's a choke slam or something. So there's like a bird outside my window or something. So block 4, take 4. Yeah, no way to play around that. GG, man.
GG. You want to do a couple of round R games?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Let's do it. Let me make a new lobby here. Find the Uzuri list. Copy deck link to clipboard. And then private, copy this. Oh, I'm going to use the bathroom before we start playing games. But I sent you the invite in the Discord channel. Oh, there it is.
Yep.
I guess I go first against you playing Red R. I don't know, but I'll be back in a second.
All right.
Okay, short bathroom break. We're back at it. Let's see, Reinar. We're on 60 cards here. Let's see what we brought in. So we cut the Remembrance and the 2 blue shreds, but we leave everything else the same. Interesting. Definitely not saying that's wrong. I'm just throwing out.
I'm running Remembrance against you.
Yeah, I figured you might be. Like, I think it makes sense from your point of view. I'm just like trying to. Honestly, I think we're just gonna push through some damage here. We just get to push a couple points here. And we get to go ahead and get a card of the next deck. Yeah, give us a silver token. Let's go. So coming in with a swing big, we block 6 and then go. I mean, I like this. I think we can take 2 here. So let's go isolate. Isolate having dominate is like such a cool effect. Now, I think Nick plays quite a few defense reactions in his list. Now I wouldn't know that sitting across from a random Reinar, but I would assume that if Reinar is playing defense reactions in their list, they would have it in against us. I would just assume they put him in. Like the 0 for 4 defense reactions are just so good against us. So part of me, like, the only time that Nick really takes damage is when he has Blood Rush or when he has the Blood Rush Bellows. So I'm thinking that Frailty token is better than Pox token here because we might get to stop 2 claws. I think I'm just going to take the Pox token and just take the safer line here. I'm honestly not 100% sure what's correct here. Was really hoping for gloves into another one. I mean, not really, because I'd rather us play a good game, but man, would have been sweet for me. So Nick gets to intimidate a card out of our hand. We'll just block 3 here, take the value block. And I'm going to keep this one, so we'll go to 29. Okay, so we'll come in with the Spider's Bite here. Spider's Bite, Konix. You love to see it. So let's go Shred. We'll target the High Roller, and then we'll go Spike with Blood Rot. So if Nick doesn't have a defense reaction, he takes 2, gets a Frailty and a Pox token. Nick has a blue, he pays here, I bet. If not, he's just going to arsenal his card. Okay, so Nick has a card that he didn't want to throw Claw at us with, and he didn't want to. I mean, he wouldn't have thrown Claw. If he had a blue, he's just paying for the Pox. Makes me think he either had a red card or he had a Blood Rush Bellows he wanted to arsenal there. Those are my first two thoughts. Guess it could have been a defense reaction he wanted to arsenal there. I'm going to play a little on the greedy side this turn. I don't know if it's correct or not, but it's definitely where I'm at. I'm going to use Black Tech Whisperers here because I want to give this go again if I can. Honestly think we're going to pick... I don't know. Let's go 1. See if we get anything cool. Does this banish a card? Okay, thank God. I was like, I don't want to discard this and give him... we're going to take the Skullcrack here. I think that's our best tool. And then I know Nick has a 2 block in his hand, so his hand's already a little bit awkward, which means... I can go Tunic, Sedate into Spider's Bite into Codex, play Leave No Witnesses, or I can play Codex, discard the Sedate, and then get back Death Touch. I think the discard Sedate into get Death Touch is my best play here. And then I get to use Tunic and throw Death Touch for 6. Now I don't get to take Nick off of his arsenal here, so we didn't get like a blowout amount of value or anything off of the Codex of Frailty. Lining up Codex of Frailty on the right turn can be worth like 10 or 15 points, I would say, easily. Let's go Pox token. Nick already has enough Frailty token, and I don't think Inertia token's worth. Yeah, we'll definitely arsenal that. That's a good card. So taking the Skullcrack was better for us there. Taking the Skullcrack meant that Nick doesn't get an extra resource here, which might not come up in the grand scheme of things, but if the extra resource is relevant, then I definitely want it to be relevant. So it looks like block 3, 5 go again into... Actually, it just looks block 3. And then we're going to arsenal the card that Nick banished here. Yeah, I have to keep my last card here. Did you play another Blood Rush Bellows?
Yeah.
Interesting. So Claw for 6 here. I mean, I'm just going to hope that your last card isn't like a swing big, because you don't have anything to discard. And of course... Am I about to go to 10 here? There's no way that me going to 10 is correct. I mean, I don't really feel like I have another line of play, so I think going to 10 is my best option here. Nick goes to 14. Let's start here, and we'll see how Nick responds. Let's go Razor's Edge for +3. We will shred the sink below here. So we're basically coming in for 3 at this point with the Razor's Edge, which isn't like a big blowout play or anything, but it is 3 points, and we get a pretty sweet card to Arsenal here. I think this was definitely better than throwing Dagger here. I would have definitely thrown the Spider's Bite because we had the Shred as backup. Then we'll Arsenal this. Okay, so block 3. Actually, hang on. I can't go to 4 here because of Reckless Swing. Going to 4 because of Reckless Swing is just a like wildly dumb decision in my opinion. So we can block 6 and then have a pretty decent line. We can stay at 10 and then we still get to have a cool turn because of the way our hand lined up. I really like Nimblism in this deck, honestly. Nimblism has like turned out to be a pretty sweet card for us. I'm sure that like other people have already realized this, but like I don't know, like I'm kind of just learning all the things that I know about the Uzuri deck as I'm playing it. So Nimblism has been pretty dang good for us so far tonight. We've also thrown the same Death Touch at Nick. This is the 3rd time we've played this Death Touch, which is absolutely bonkers to me. We've only seen 1 and we've played 3 copies of Death Touch this game somehow. So go figure that one out. So Nick takes 6 and go to 4 here if he doesn't have a defense reaction. Okay. So Nick's now taking 2. Nick goes to 8. We give Nick a Pox token. I am going to Arsenal this card. This is a very good card. And then we end up with a pretty sweet hand here. Barraging Beatdown into Alpha Rampage for 13. So we get to block 6, take 7, go to 3. I'm actually not going to crown anything because my hand is just good. Now, Nick goes to 6 here, and there is no difference from Reckless Swing between me being at 3 and being at 4. So I see no reason to actually do anything. Okay, so I'm going to use Tunic. Play Hurl. I'm going to spend 1 to throw Spider's Bite at Nick. It's going to deal 1 damage to him, and now Spider's Bite effect is active, which is a pretty cool play. Hurl lines up really well for us here. This actually ends up being a pretty sweet turn. We're pretty much using every resource that we have at our disposal to make it happen, but it is a really cool line of play. And Nick's at 5, so like we're putting on quite a bit of pressure here this turn. Like Skullcrack blocking that for 2, like the value in that play is so insane. So let's go Flick Knives. I mean, I'm just going to go for it here. Because if Nick does have a defense reaction in his hand, he has to play it now. And it's basically making, well, I mean, he doesn't have to play it now, but it gives us value off of our Nerve Scalpel if he doesn't play it now. And he may not have a defense reaction, but okay. So we put Nick to 4. Nick takes nothing. We're going to go Infect. Oh, what? Oh, the next time. Okay, gotcha. So I'm going to put Shakedown in. And then I'm going to shred the Alpha Rampage here. And then Nick's going to take 3. We're going to pick blue. It doesn't matter. All right. Is Spike with Blood Rot good enough? Is there anything that we're doing here that makes sense? Other than arsenaling this? I think this is our best play. Honestly, I think this is our best play because I think putting in the Shakedown here just gives Nick the opportunity to kind of get us with some defense reactions randomly. With us being at 3, 1 Reckless Swing won't do it. He has to have 2, and with only 4 cards in hand and Dominate, he can't make it happen in 1 hand. So I think this kind of gives us the game right here. It's a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. I honestly thought we had this game a little bit earlier than this, but Nick really turned this into a good game. All right, well, I go to 1, so thank God for Dominate. Did you have the other one?
No.
I was like, man, thank God for Dominate right there, because, I mean, Dominate's the only thing that won me that game right there, but...
We're going to run it back.
Sweet, let's do it. You want to, like, change your sideboard or just run it back?
We're going to run it back.
Okay. Yeah, quick rematch. I think I'm just gonna pass here. I don't really see a reason to do anything. Oh man, our hand's pretty awkward, I feel like. Well, that happening to Nick does make our hand a little bit better because we don't have to make any decisions. Sometimes you just get bailed out by the grace of God. No, I'm not going to pay for Hurl. I really like this card. This card has been pretty sweet tonight. I wish it blocked 3, but that's just me trying to have my cake and eat it too. So Nick blocks 3, and then we're going to go Infect for 3. With multiple cards in our hand, we're threatening multiple things here. And then we'll pitch Isolate to play Spike with Blood Rot and test Nick on his defense reaction capability, because if he has a defense reaction, he can play it here and save some points. And if he does not have it here, then we're looking at Nick takes 3 and he gets 2 Blood Rot tokens, which is a pretty good swing for us. Fate Foreseen is a really good card to have in Arsenal right there. It stops pretty much all of our turn that we did. I mean, hopefully Nick's turn is just like throw Claw, so that I can block with a card that keep a pretty sweet hand. Puts a card on the bottom of their deck. Okay, so Nick puts a card on the bottom. Yeesh. I think I'm just going to take 4 here. All right, so let's make sure we do this correctly. We get to go. Nick has no arsenal, which is a little concerning. So this is not looking like our best play. But if we use Tunic in this, we can come in with Spider's Bite, come in with Hurl, and then use our 2 blues and our reaction to try and push through some damage here this turn. And what does this say? I mean, that's pretty good. Plus, we get to put a CNC back into our deck. And, like, I don't think putting Command and Conquer back into our deck is a bad thing at all. Like, the more cards you can keep in your deck over the course of the game, the better. Hurl, Isolate, Surgical with Shred. Yeah, so that's exactly what was going through my head right here. Except I guess you were gonna keep the Command and Conquer to Arsenal here, which also would have been fine. That definitely would have been an okay line. Because with the Tunic, we have a few options with the Command and Conquer and the Tunic being up. But I think I like our use of Dagger here. Dagger getting a card out of Nick's hand was pretty good. And then Surgical Extraction just gets a card here. You contracted to banish opponent's blue cards, so we're not going to get this either way. We can block the Command and Conquer pretty easily. I mean, I'm not like super worried about that, so we can block the Command and Conquer in a pretty decent fashion. So Nick's just going to Arsenal Command and Conquer here. I mean, I guess he could come in with Claw if he wants to. If he wants to use Tunic and his red to come in with Claw, I feel like that's a winning trade for me, so
My bad.
oh no, you're good, man. So Surgical hits, I take the Reincarnate. Oh gosh dang it, I forgot to Arsenal that time around. My bad. It's gonna take us forever to play this turn cycle.
Frozen.
I was like, yeah, I says I passed. I might be lagging. Let me see. Refresh. Yeah, there it is. Take Reincarnate, Arsenal my card, and then draw my hand here. Okay, so we pitch Shred to Spider's Bite, Isolate. Yeah, I mean, I definitely see our line here. We could have kept that. I don't think that's going to be necessary. We already have a pretty sweet attack reaction here that we can use. God, am I going to have to buy all of the assassin cards? Am I going to like that deck this much where I'm just going to have to buy all the cards? Man, we went and played golf on Sunday for Father's Day. We went and played golf with my dad, and man, I have got bug bites all over my legs, which is crazy to me because it was like, I don't really like register bug bites with the middle of the day. I always register bug bites with like nighttime, like in like nighttime actions. So
yeah.
We're gonna name 3 here. You revealed Skullcrack, What all did you reveal? Skullcrack, and Clearing Bellows. So you're left with 2 Skullcracks. And then you have a Command and Conquer in your arsenal. And then I'm going to throw the Leave No Witnesses. So this whole turn is lined up to be pretty sweet here. So next going to give us Skullcrack and Scab Skins. Going to use my Shred here on his Skullcrack. And we're going to come in for 2, get rid of his Command and Conquer. And we're going to get rid of a card off the top of his deck, which was a Blood Rush Bellow. I'd like to have had a red for the silver token, but getting rid of a Blood Rush Bellow is what I would call a 100% a win right there. Like 100% a win right there. This turn looks pretty rough on the surface, but it's actually not a bad turn when you think about the cards that we have in our hand here. It's just a little unconventional based off how we would normally play the game. So I actually kind of like this hand, though. It actually feels like it's going to be pretty sweet. So we're gonna play the Shred. Now it sucks. Yeah, I was like, if Nick has a sink below here, this really sucks. But we have to play the Shred to get value off of the Shakedown. So you want to hit undo, and you can let my Shred resolve and then play your sink.
Yeah.
To stop more. So that blocks that, and then you get the chance to sink below here. So Nick blocks 4. Ooh. And unless I'm going crazy, he takes 2 here. I mean, he could have another defense reaction. We have seen Fate Foreseen and a sink below. So we know that he's playing Rhinar, so there's a very high chance he's on Reckless Rampage. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a good chance he could have another defense reaction here. We're hoping not. Because if he doesn't, we get out of this turn pretty okay. Because we're going to name blue and look at his hand. He has a whole bunch of cards. Yeah, I think let's just name blue and see what we find. Yeah, Beast Within, High Roller, Alpha Rampage, and Riled Up. So we take High Roller, which means he cannot play as Alpha Rampage anymore, which is actually pretty sweet. So he's probably forced to play to... He's going to have to pitch 2 cards to play 1 card, which, I mean, that feels like a win for us, honestly. Oh, Tunic. I'm a weeb. Well, Nick did banish the 2 cards we wanted to get rid of, so that worked out for us pretty well. So we get to block 6 here, stay at 33, and then we get to go... Do I have what I want over here? No, I don't. I don't have a Death Touch over here. I thought I did, but I don't apparently. So we're gonna go Nimblism. Yeah, I have to play the Nimblism first. We won't get any value off of it otherwise. And we got an E-Strike, or we won't get value off the Codex, is what I'm saying. So, I mean, Ravenous Rabble for 7 is no joke. No? Oh, you didn't want to do that? All right, so we would have had Nimblism Isolate, Wither, Codex of Frailty, or I'm sorry, we would have had Rabble, Nimblism, Isolate, Wither, and Codex and the Nimblism in Arsenal and Codex in hand. Rabble, Nimblism into Leave. Oh, so you still like blocking the way we did. You just thought I should play Rabble, then okay. Yeah, I like your play better. Would have just been better value off of just a better card. Yeah, no, that 100% makes sense. I definitely should have done it that way. That's a good catch. That's a good catch, because if we play with the Rabble still for 4 and then Leave No Witnesses, it's for 7. Yeah. That's just me being a forehead. Okay, so I take 2. Nick gets to protect his Arsenal. We are going to Arsenal that. This is an interesting hand. So, Nimblism. So if we go Nimblism, go again, putting Shakedown on the bottom, that's for 8. Then we pitch CNC Tunic to go Spider's Bite, and then we get to play Codex for Leave No Witnesses, and I have to do it that way. I mean, I can do the Spider's Bite first if I want to. Let's pitch the Shakedown here. There might be a better line here, but this is the first line that stands out to me, and it's a pretty hefty amount of damage, which with a pretty hefty like swing here. Like good damage and like a good like tempo swing, I feel like is really all you're looking for out of this like more red line Uzuri deck. Spider's Bite, Nimblism, go again. So 8 go again with the Spider's Bite effect. Yeah, and Spider's Bite does say this turn. So that's pretty good. Something to defend with 1 or more. Yeah. Nice that you get the same hand again with Nimblism plus Codex. Nimblism on Leave. I can't play Nimblism on Leave there. It's in my hand. I physically can't do it that time. I have to discard it, don't I? Oh, wait. Oh my god. I'm such an idiot. I literally just back-to-back did the same exact thing. Dude, Chris, you're trying to help me out all you can, brother. I'm just doing the same. I literally just did the same exact. Sometimes there are no words. Sometimes I just have to wallow in my own sadness. Oh well. Doing that 2 times in back-to-back turns means it's something I'll never forget. I'll never forget that. Gosh, I'm such a putz. Yeah, that definitely won't happen again in the future. Me doing it back-to-back is just like... I like how it's like you even said... It's nice that you get the same hand, and then you put like no, and then XD, like because it just you're watching it all happen again right in front of your eyes, man. Oh boy. So, did you just pass, Nick?
Yep.
Interesting. So we're gonna go 5 go again, and then we're gonna go, and then we're gonna play 5 go again, and then we're gonna play one of our stealth cards here. By one of our stealth cards, I mean our infect, because that's the one that's left. I have come around to the Spike with Blood Rots and the Razor's Edges more and more over the course of the night, because they're like, I mean, and Chris said this earlier in the stream, they're either cool pumps or they're just like, they block 3, like, and I like that. I think I really like that about this deck. It honestly, like, Uzuri, so like, one of my favorite things about Dash is that it trades down really well. Like, it blocks efficiently and then still throws its damage in like better, like in bigger chunks. And Bravo does that, and so does Uzuri. Uzuri trades down really well, and I think that's one of the things that I'm really going to grow to like about Uzuri is that she trades down super well. Nothing's gonna stop us now. Nah, nah, nah. No, no, no. I've had that song stuck in my head. I've had that song stuck in my head all day. So give Nick a Pox token. Razor's Edge helping us push that through. Okay, so Nick rolls a 1 and then re-rolls the gloves here. So Nick banished the card I wanted to block with. So do we have a Death Touch in our yard? No, we don't. It feels really bad. Like, is this... There's no world where I'm blocking with Death Touch, right? I don't think there's any world where I'm blocking anything this turn here. I think this is just... Like, it honestly feels like we're just going to 17, and then we're going to go... Spider, Rabble into Death Touch, which feels pretty good. I mean, we're still up 5 points here. We just took Nick's entire turn, and we're still up 5 points. Yeah, if there was a way to give that go again, I would. I think I can actually just pitch the... No, I can't do that because I don't have Tunic. If I had Tunic, I could just pitch the Razor's Edge here to come in with a Nerve Scalpel, and then that would give me the capability to use Tunic to throw my Death Touch at the end of the chain. But we got Sedate coming on the next one, which means that Razor's Edge is looking better and better. You'll love to see it. Now, I could go Razor's Edge, or I could pitch Razor's Edge to go Nerve Scalpel and then throw Leave No Witnesses, but I don't like throwing Leave No Witnesses here because Nick doesn't have an arsenal. And while I do take a chance at getting a silver back so that I can get my Black Tech Whisperers back, I don't think that's where I want to be. I think I'm more in line with actually just not dealing with not playing my turn as effectively as possible. Oh, I also can't. Yeah, dude. I'm like having a stroke over here. Chris is literally realizing all these things before I'm realizing all these things because you can't play. Death Touch can't be played from hand. I'm such an idiot. So we're going to pitch the Razor's Edge to come in with the second line that I came up with, which also happens to be the only line that actually allows us to play all of our cards here, or honestly play most of our cards. So we do get to Arsenal the Death Touch, and then we get to have our hand set up with Tunic coming off of 3, which means that we kind of get to have a full value hand, and then we can use Tunic here. And if Nick gives us the Leave No Witnesses here, then maybe we get a red card and we can bring our Whisperers back and turn this into like a crazy hand. You'd think that after playing 4 games with the deck, you'd learn what the cards say, but apparently I just don't. No, 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 no. This is also cool because if Nick has a defense reaction, he's either forced to give me a card in a defense reaction or give me Tunic in a defense reaction because of Nerve Scalpel. The daggers having these on-hit effects is really cool. I don't know if it would be better if they were just 1-for-1s like Kadachi's, but the 2-for-1s with the piercing one is really cool. Nah, you're doing really good. You just have to play some games to see the lines. Well, thanks. I appreciate that, buddy. I feel like you've seen most of the lines I played, though. But I do appreciate the kind words. I'm definitely one of those people that learning a new hero takes me a few games to really before I start to see and develop the lines. Like I know that there are some people who just naturally pick up Flesh and Blood pretty quickly and they can just understand the lines and what's going on at a pretty quick pace. And I'm honestly not one of those people. So Nick just passes. This hand feels real awkward. I'm in 150 to 200 Uzuri games, so yeah, it comes with time. I mean, that's fair. 150 to 200 Uzuri games is quite a bit. Man, you must really like Uzuri. I was like, you must play it quite a bit if you're that deep into the game. Let's go Spider's Bite. It's crazy how Uzuri is just one of those heroes where it just feels like you can't let anything they do hit you. Like it honestly just feels like you just have to block every single thing they're doing. And that is crazy to me because, I mean, I don't know a hero that you can say that about. Even Bravo, Bravo and all the Guardians, they still have the hammers, where their turns are just kind of weak. So Nick blocking the Nerve Scalpel tells me that he has a defense reaction here. Which means we're going to use Tunic to play our Death Touch because we have one more Codex in our deck somewhere that's got to be coming up in what I would say is the next 10 to 15 cards before we're just going to be through our entire deck. I mean, let's go Isolate, Sync. So we can Wither Uzuri and then use our reaction, Arsenal, our CNC. Or we can go pitch Wither CNC to play Spider's Bite, then throw our card and hold up our reaction here. Remember the Shred trick? Yes, so I could actually Arsenal my Leave No Witnesses here by going Wither, use our Shred, and then play, and then Uzuri in our card. That's a pretty sweet line. The Shred trick is insane. I can't believe that the game works that way. That's just it's really cool. And so when I say I can't believe the game works that way, I understand logically why it works that way. But it is really cool. And it's not one of those things that I kind of just would have expected it to drop off with the card that's also dropping off. But Shred targets the card defending. So it's just a really neat interaction. And it really makes me sit here and get think about how good of a card Shred really is. I'm pretty sure I have a rainbow set of Shreds just sitting in a box upstairs. I mean, I know they're just rares, but still, it's cards I'd need. I think I have a playset of Leave No Witnesses too. I don't think I have Surgical Extractions. I think I have Death Touches. Ugh, God, I don't have Codexes. I've only opened one Codex, and it was a Marvel Codex that I actually sold to one of my buddies because I have no care for the card. Nick, was that you?
Yeah, I bought it.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, yeah. I was like, I remember somebody on the team bought it that day at draft day. So we're gonna let Nick sink below Resolve. And then we're gonna use our Shred, which is just insane. Reckless Swing discarding is sink below. I mean, we can shred that. That's fine. So this goes to 1. This pumps it up to 6. or pumps it back up to 5. Command and Conquer gets in for 6, which means he goes to 4, and we get his arsenal here. Remembrance, shuffled, barraging beatdown, blood rush bellow. Okay. It's just insanely good value here. And then I get to arsenal my leave no witnesses. Well, thank God there's not a Nimbulism in this hand, because I would somehow find a way to mess it up if there was. So block surgical, rabble, leave, shred, arsenal, frailty, or take 3, go to 14, spider's bite. There was an argument to flick in the nerve scalpel here is he didn't let sync resolve first. Yeah, that was definitely something we could have done. That would have been really good. It would have made both of his defense reactions be 2 less, so Nick would be at 1 right now, which means our flick knives would just kill him this turn. So I think that was definitely the play, Chris. I think that was definitely the play there. Or I guess the other line is, man, the other line is so mid. The other line just involves me throwing a dagger, which I'm not a fan of. I think just using our cards effectively here is just good. Let rabble be for 4. Yeah. We got a spike with blood rot coming, which is awesome. How many D reacts is that? So we've seen 3 sink belows. We've seen 2 reckless swings, which I know that's all of. And then we've seen 1 fate foreseen. So I get the idea that like we're just gonna flick knives when they are low. Keeping a blue to dagger is pretty good. I mean, yeah, like the daggers get better the longer the game goes on. I just feel like kind of trying to like block where I can so that I can save for a huge value turn is what I want. I'm actually gonna flick knives this turn and throw the spider's bite, because we need, like, that means next turn we can just flick knives the nerve scalpel at him and we can win from there, basically no matter what happens. And then we're coming in with leave no witnesses for 4, which is also like super value. And Nick's attack actions block for 1 less here. And then we just have the shred for the bellow. This deck feels incredibly broken. This deck feels very strong. It honestly makes me sad because I feel like I'm going to end up buying all the assassin stuff. Gosh, and I had a flick knives too. I sold it. I mean, to be fair, I sold it. It was a cold full. I sold it for a lot of money, so I don't feel bad about it. If you
had 2 of them.
I had 3 trenches. I never had 2 flick knives. I don't think I did. I'll look through my binder again. Maybe I did. Maybe you're right. God, if I opened 3 trenches and 2 flick knives in that case, that would be crazy. You want to run it back, or I don't know when you're done. I was like, if you're done, that's cool.
Yeah, we're gonna run back.
Okay.
I was going to give you a dash game.
Oh, well, let's do that. If you want to do that, dude.
Yep.
Let me go to the homepage here and I'll make another game for us. Nope, that's the wrong thing here.
Grab a deck.
If you have a 4-power attack, using the nerve scalpel is more value. So the reason I didn't use nerve scalpel there was because I knew all of his defense reactions were out of his deck. Oh, so if they had a defense reaction, they still need 2 cards to block? Yeah, okay, so I see what you're saying. That, like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, you're right. That's just a better line. It's just to throw the nerve scalpel there. I guess in my head, Nick and I have played. He's played Rhinar against me a bunch of times, and so there's only 1 fate foreseen in your deck, right, Nick?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know that now. is that me playing a little biased? No, like as I wouldn't know that against a random Reinhardt player at an event. Yeah, absolutely. But like, I also like, I don't know, like I just, if Nick and I played in a tournament, I would play having the knowledge to know that. So, but yeah, throwing the flick knives is cool because if he does have another, like if he does have a Fate Foreseen, he still has to give 2 cards, or he has to give a card and a tunic, which is like supreme value for us. Okay, so I clicked on Dash, and Homeboy only has 58 cards loaded in. Let's just, I don't know. I guess let's play 2 Sync Belows here. I kind of like the idea of just playing Sync Below. Let's just play 61 and play all the Sync Belows. Because if you're on Combustible Courier, I'll want the Sync Belows. Yeah, I think that's better. Having an answer to Combustible Courier is, I think, a very good place to be at. Because I don't know that you're playing Combustible Courier, but if you are, I want to be prepared for that 1000%. Oh. Guys, while we're waiting on Nick to finish sideboarding here. Oh, just kidding. The game started. I was going to go through my Twitch rant, but I'll go through my Twitch rant after the game. Okay, so Nick starts with Chambers, so it tells me he's playing a mid-rangey strategy. And I did talk about earlier how Dash trades down very effectively. So definitely something to keep in mind here. Dash usually runs the item package versus Uzuri, as Uzuri can fatigue Dash pretty easily. Yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense that they would be on like the Chambers and the Purifiers, like that whole plan. I think I'm okay with just blocking 2 here. Because I guess if Nick just starts boosting away, I can just block with all my 3 blocks and just fatigue him. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, and a Teklo core. Oh wow, what do you know? I have the exact same hand I had. And we got a Wither on top. Okay, not bad. I'm heading out. Thanks for the stream. Chris, I appreciate you hanging out, brother. Hope you have a good night, man. So we start with a Ravenous Rabble, and then we have Infect into our attack reaction, and then we get to Arsenal our last card, which is pretty sweet. It's kind of fun that like your hands work when you have quad reds. I'm used to living in a world where like you can play your hands with quad reds. Like if you're playing like let's take let's take Fi as an example. Like Fi is one of those heroes that can play in all red hand, no problem. But Fi wants some number of blues to be able to keep their hand functioning and to keep their hand smooth. And like honestly, Uzuri just kind of seems like it plays very well into like the all red hand, which is like really sweet. So I'm going to sync, and then I'm going to put Wither on the bottom. I think that's what we're looking for here. I mean, this is still like a pretty decent line for us. So we can go... I think we're going to end up arsenaling the Nimblism here. I think we'll just take the 2 here off of the pistol. Like, we're going to block whatever's relevant that Nick throws at us. I don't really think it's necessary that we block the pistol here early on. And honestly, we might not be blocking anything. Like, Nick's got 3 cards in his hand, so Nick could throw something pretty good at us. But, okay. So Nick's going to go get a pistol item here and arsenal a card, which is kind of cool. Or if it's a crappy blue that he doesn't want, he can just pay to pitch for Pox token, which is cool. Okay, so he draws a combustible courier, which he does choose to pay for, which I think is smart. Let's throw Rabble for 2. Boo. I mean, there are worse things that have happened. Like, I would have rather have seen like a Rabble for 4, obviously, but beggars can't be choosers. And then we'll come in with Isolate here. We have 2 cards in hand, so we're threatening quite a bit of things here. We'll play the Razor's Edge to just push over for some damage. Put Nick to 29 here. And then we're going to arsenal our last card, which I think is setting us up for a decent turn next turn. Man. Like, these hands are not great so far. We've had some pretty awkward ones. Like, we've seen all 3 Ravenous Rabbles. Now, Nick is playing hard setup game here, where he's going to get multiple items here. So Nick goes and gets an induction chamber here because 9 is more than 8. And when I say that, I mean if Nick has 2 chambers and a purifier, his turn is for 9 off of pistol items. If he has 2 purifiers and then 1 chamber, his turn is for 8. If you're a Dash player, you know that math pretty quickly off the top of your head. So let's go. Let's go Spider's Bite here. Pretty much every, like, almost like a lot of the cards that Nick's gonna be like having, like that Nick will have in his hands that he'll want to block with here will be attacks. So putting the pressure on in a way that we can. It is worth noting that Nick is up 1 card in his deck. Not that I really want to get into playing the long grindy game against him anyway. Because the longer the game goes on with his pistol items like this, the better off his matchup's going to be. He's going to have a better chance at fatiguing us. Nick has also boosted 1 time, which makes me curious to know if Nick is on the defense reaction plan here, or if he's just on the like pistol items and like an aggro play here. Nick could be on like full hard control. And I'm going to be honest, I think Tree Frog Dash, like if you're on like the heavy Tree Frog Dash, I think that kind of beats the living crap out of Uzuri just thinking about it. But I could be wrong about that. And then we'll go Sedate for 6. So if this hits, Nick gets an inertia token, and then we get to arsenal a pretty good card here. So putting us in a pretty decent spot here. Would like to see some power cards. Gonna be honest, I'm not really sure. Like, I'm kind of at a point in the game where, like, a great hand, I'm not really sure what that looks like. So the Nerve Scalpel makes Sink Below block for 3. So Nick has to give us Bender and Heart here, which I'm a pretty big fan of personally. I think that just gives us a better option. Okay, there's a lot happening in my hand here. So Nick is on full control dash here. I'm going to take 3 because I think I want my whole hand. I think we're going Sedate, Snaps, Spike, Isolate, Uzuri, and then either arsenaling our Shred or using our Shred. And I can afford to take some damage here because our hand pushes through quite a bit. Like our hand pushes through some serious points here with some serious effects too, so... So Nick puts us to 32. I imagine it's going to be pitch another blue to load everything and then pistol us one more time. Or maybe Nick's hand was awkward and he has 2 reds or something like that. Nope. So pitch another blue, load up the pistol as the last one, and then shoot us for 3. We go to 29, and then Nick's going to arsenal his last card, which, while a very good turn, still like plays into our hand a little bit of what I was looking to accomplish. So kind of just take the free win there on that front of things. Yeah, this ended up being a pretty sweet turn here. Oh, stretch my back there. So we're going to go Spike with Blood Rot for +3. We're going to go Snapdragons. Now we're going to shred the Fate Foreseen. So that we're still coming in for 3 with on-hit Pox token, on-hit Inertia token. And then we'll come in with Isolate here. Using snaps to like really push our tempo advantage here has been pretty good for us. Guys, if y'all are hanging out tonight with me, watching me stream, I really appreciate it. No matter where you're watching, YouTube, Twitch, Kick, Facebook, I just appreciate y'all hanging out this evening. I think we'll just go ahead and do this because it's more points. Like it's like maybe not better value on our opponent's like the Command and Conquer effect isn't super relevant there. Now Nick does get to come in with all of his toys here. But our hand doesn't really do anything that effective. So I'm just going to block 6 here and then take a good arsenal card here. So trying to set ourselves up for a better power turn. Did you mean to pass?
No.
I didn't think so. So we'll block 3 and then Nick uses Chamber. Chamber gives go again. I assume he didn't mean to pass that time either.
Oh, it destroys it before I get to pay it.
No, if you hit undo, it should order the layers in a way for it to work out for you. Wait, oh, did you play another purifier?
Yeah, but I had 2 floating.
So you had 2 floating to play the purifier,
And
and
I had a blue left, and it just disappeared the blue. I should be able to pay for the.
hang on, I don't know what happened. Let's start this turn over here. So you pitch a blue to activate pistol, or to load pistol here. You activate purifier. Oh, that's fine. You just come in with a pistol.
Sorry.
No, I mean you're good. I was like, if you'd rather just come in with a pistol, that's fine. And then I block 3 with the razor's edge. You give go again. Yep. And then you pitch to play the purifier. And then you should be able to reorder those.
Yep, I got it.
Okay, there you go. And then you can pitch your blue to pay for the pox token that way. And then inertia goes off. Okay, that makes more sense to me. This hand is weird and like not very efficient, like in any sense of the term. So I was going to use my other 3 block. I was going to use my CNC to block with, but we'll just set up our Death Touch in our arsenal and just try to come in with a better turn next turn. Na na na, no no no. Ain't nothing gonna stop us now. Okay, so Nick's looking to filter a little bit there. And then I'm just gonna pass and arsenal this. Hope that we get a sweet turn. So block 3. Man, if that was a blue, it'd be really good here. I mean, I guess I could just. There's no way to play the Death Touch with Go again here, unfortunately. Having already used my Snapdragons for my first big turn. So I block 3, throw Death Touch, play my cards, and then Arsenal Codex here. I think that's what I'm looking at here. Maybe there's some line where I'm throwing Command and Conquer. I don't think so. I don't think there's ever a world where that's the play. I think we need to find a turn where we can get Nick off of his arsenal. And if we can get him off of his arsenal, then we can use Codex as kind of like a blowout play here. So Nick boosts to push some damage through, and then if he has 2 blues left in his hand, he's going to be able to really push some damage through here. Do I have... I don't really have anything great to Codex back is the downfall of my plan here. Or like of Codex here is like I need one more turn to set up with Codex before I can really make this a big play here. So this is going to be for 4. I think I'm just going to 23 here. I don't think there's really a reason for me to block. I think our line is okay. Like, I don't think it's great, but I think it's okay. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to end this turn at 15 based off what's in Nick's hand. Nick may want an arsenal here. Nick is not planning on arsenaling, because if he was, he would have used one of his resources to load his other item to be more prepared for the next turn. So we're just taking 4 and going to 19 here. And then Nick's probably going to like pitch another blue to load everything up. He gets to load everything but one item, so he'll probably leave one chamber unloaded if I had to guess, and then he'll throw 4 more at us and we'll go to 15. And then we'll have to hope that our last hand is good enough. Okay, so Nick did decide to arsenal his last card. He wanted to load the pistol instead of something else. Okay, I mean, that's also an option. Now, the good news is that based off what we have going into our next turn, we're going to have Tunic up with Codex to kind of have like a pretty solid value play here. Carly's having an unfortunate play of Fortnite, it sounds like. So we'll shred for -3 on the 0 to 60 here and hope that we can push our Death Touch through. We're gonna choose the inertia token here because I want to make sure that Nick's not on an arsenal here for our next turn. So this is a pretty sweet turn. We get to block 6. We get to block 6 and have an 11-point turn here. Nick not being able to arsenal that unmovable was a great option for us. And then he loads one item. I guess I could have blocked 3, taken 2, and then... Yeah, no, I'm taking 2 either way. It would have been the same thing. The dagger I don't think would have been worth. I don't think that would have been worth here. So let's put this on the bottom and go 5, go again. I really like Snapdragon Scalers, but I'm not gonna lie, the fact that you can buy back Black Tech Whisperers is broken. Like, I understand that I literally didn't buy I've bought Black Tech Whisperers back one time this evening, but it's still like an insanely just broken thing you can do. And then we're gonna Codex here, which is pretty sweet. Where is our Death Touch? We'll get our Death Touch here. So I get Death Touch. Nick gets a 0 to 60, which makes sense. And then Death Touch is for 6. Nick is more than likely blocking 6 here, if I had to guess. Nick going to 4. I mean, I get Nick could have like an insanely broken hand that he just needs every card of. Blocking 6 is really like blocking 8 here. That's a good card to arsenal too. I like having that. Okay, so let's figure out our hand. We go... Hey, Delver Guy. Thanks for the follow. I like that name. Delver Guy. Dude, I played a lot of Grixis Delver back in the day in Legacy, so if that's a magic name, I do appreciate it. We'll block with Razor's Edge first. Because our hand right now leaves us with a good arsenal target. God, Nick having 4 pistol items is going to be the death of us. Like, the fact that Nick has 4 pistol items is like the end of the world for us. It's just so hard. You just can't stop all the pistol items. Like, it's so much inevitability. All right, now Nick whiffing on a resource is good for us because I feel like he's gonna load 3 items here and pass, so he can have, 3 of his 4 items loaded. Also, because the frailty token just makes his pistol attacks not good. So let's go again here. Again, we're just trying to put as much pressure on Nick as we can here. Like, we just want Nick to be feeling like awkward and in like an awkward position as possible. Just throwing as much as we can at him. Now, Leave No Witnesses is just a 0 for 4 here, but still a great card. Still a big fan of it here. You're welcome. Yeah, I played nothing but Rug Delver in Legacy and Standard. Thank you for the stream. Hope you stream again soon. Well, I appreciate that, man. I am hoping to stream again soon. I normally stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays and like a day on the weekend, but I don't think that's the case for me now. This week, I don't think that's where I'm going to be at. We're celebrating my mom's husband, his birthday's on Thursday, and we're celebrating that Thursday. So I'm hoping to stream Saturday or Sunday. So I hope I'll be back this weekend, but unfortunately, I never know what the world's going to throw at me. Okay, I was talking that whole time and didn't think about my turn. So I can go block surgical, crown to put a card in my hand. I'm going to start here. I'd like to keep crown if I can, but there might be a world where I'm forced to... I don't think there's a world where I'm forced to block with crown this turn, but... Okay, so... I think it's worth. I think that this line of play is just too good. Also, discarding this is completely... I'm completely content with that. This is going to be a really sweet turn. Now, Nick having his pistol items does not make it easy on us, but this is a really sweet line we get here. I have to make sure I have one in my graveyard. I'm pretty sure we just played one. Yeah, so we have a Leave No Witnesses, which is good. Which means if Nick arsenals here, our turn is just looking better and better. Now, obviously, if we were playing in a competitive setting, I wouldn't be talking out loud, so Nick wouldn't know that. Nothing's gonna stop us now. Nah, nah, nah. No, no, no. Okay, so Nick gets a Tekla core instead of arsenaling, which, while it does technically hurt, I guess it doesn't really hurt our game plan a little bit. It just doesn't make our line more of a blowout line, I suppose. Yeah, so let's go Leave No Witnesses. We'll discard Command and Conquer, which is an interesting thing to say. Normally, a lot of people use Codex of Frailty to get Command and Conquer back. We're going to throw Leave No Witnesses for 7. I hate that Chris is gone from the stream when I finally saw that I could play Nimbalism, then play Codex to make my Leave No Witnesses for more instead of making a different play. But I did it 2 times in a row on back-to-back turns, so at least I learned finally. I'll take the small wins when they come in, so... Na na na. No, no, no. So this isn't enough to get me across the finish line, but it is very good because Nick goes to 4 and I get his Arsenal card. This is also insanely good. Like, mucho good. Now, Nick does have 2 resources here at his disposal from the Teklo core, which is actually pretty sweet. Because he loaded up Purifiers last turn, he can throw 8 at me. And I honestly think my hand is worth taking 8. I have a lot of value in our hand. There's a lot of value here. Oh, the frailty token.
Oh yeah.
It slides over behind all of your stuff, so I forgot about it. Like I have a little sliding bar on my screen where all your items are, and the frailty token's like behind all of your stuff. Yeah, so knowing that we don't have to take 4 does make me feel a little bit better here. So we're taking 6 here instead of 8, which is, I mean, a big difference. And now we're going to pitch our Isolate to come in with Spider's Bite. We're getting to the... We're getting to the point in the game where, like, Flick Knives is looking better and better the closer we get to the end of the game here. It's also funny to me that, like, the card difference is, like, kind of close, and Nick's on the... Nick is on, like, the, like, pistol plan, and, like, our card differential still looking good. So we're going to go Hurl. We don't have one to pay. So we have Spider's Bite and Nerve Scalpel active, which is cool. And we're coming in for 0 for 3 go again. What? Okay. So the fact that Nick is playing an unmovable there makes me think that he has another unmovable. That's the only reason I could see him actually doing that. And we're about to find out because we're going to activate Uzuri here. And if he has an unmovable, he gets to play it. So he does get to play it. I'm going to play the Shred. This takes his unmovable down to 5. Shakedown comes in and is for 6. Nick goes to 1. We're going to pick 3, not that it matters. And then we're just going to pitch to come in with a Spider's Bite this turn. So that we can use the Flick Knives to actually kill Nick here. For anybody who's curious, I had never played a single game with Uzuri before tonight. So if you're wondering if the deck is good, here is your only, like, clue to that. I've never played Uzuri before tonight, and I'm about to be 5-1 with it. So honestly, Uzuri feels pretty broken. Has the deck felt good to you tonight, Nick? Like, have you felt like Uzuri's been putting you on the back foot a lot tonight? The more we played.
Yeah, it feels like I've been playing behind a lot.
Yeah, it's really felt that way to me too. And then we get the Flick Knives, the Nerve Scalpel, and that just ends the game. I did have Isolate into Leave No Witnesses there, Arsenaling a Sink Below, so it was still a good line that I had. But yeah, that felt really good. That was a good game, man.
Let's play one more with a sideboard.
That works for me.
Just sideboard. Be my last one.
Veed indeed. Thanks for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate it. I don't really know how you came across that name, but I like the name Veed. That's kind of cool. I don't know if that's like a play off of like something, but I do like it. So we're gonna click on dash just like we did last time, and then I'm gonna bring in the 3 Sink Belows and just play the 61 cards here like I did. Same thing I did last game. because if I'm ever playing against Dash and they flip over hard aggro, I want the Sync Belows to bail me out. Now, I'm not saying that's indefinitely correct. There might be some world where I would rather have the like I would rather just have like some more aggro cards. Like maybe I'm supposed to just like I have no idea. Frailty Trap seems like super mid. Inertia Trap like is only good if he's playing aggro. Down and Dirty blocks for 2, and like it's just a 2 for 6, which is like mid. I could put in the other Surgical and a Plague Hive and just try to get him, I guess. I don't know. Appreciate the stream. We need more Fab streamers. Dude, I wish more people stream Flesh and Blood, honestly, brother. I streamed Magic for a long time, like for about a year before I got into Flesh and Blood, and then I've been streaming Flesh and Blood since last July. I think July is when I started. And honestly, dude, I've never looked back. I love Flesh and Blood. Like the game's a lot of fun. Like I have a lot of good friends that play it in my local area. Like anytime somebody wants to get into Flesh and Blood, I'm always like, yes, let's get you into Flesh and Blood. I'm all about it. So I think I'm just gonna Arsenal here. My hand seems like okay. Yeah, my hand's not great. We're probably gonna sink something here because my hand feels pretty mid so far to this point. So we're probably gonna be sinking something here. So Nick loads the pistols and pass. He loads his items and passes. Okay, intertesting. Wish I could get more people to play at our LGS. Averages 2 to 4 people a week. Oh man, I hate that, man. I'm sorry to hear that you guys don't have a big booming LGS. I was like, we have quite a good community, honestly, and I'm a pretty big fan of it. Former MTG play here too. Feels a lot like old school MTG. Honestly, it really does. Like, so I didn't really start playing Magic until 2015. But I mean, I like just like I've played some like pre-modern and some things like that, and honestly, I have to say that like I have to say that like playing Flesh and Blood does give me like it gives me like pre-modern feels if you've ever played that format. Haha, flip and isolate. Let's go. You love to see it. Razor's Edge is one of those cards that's like kind of growing on me as the nights went on. I hope you guys can hear Carly laughing in the other room. Gosh, she's having a field day about something. I don't know who she's talking to, but she must be playing Fortnite with somebody. It sounds kind of goofy. It just makes me happy to listen to her laugh. I love her laugh. Yeah, I definitely agree, dude. So I'm gonna be honest. I don't know many people that play pre-modern. So you must have been playing for a while. If you've played like some of those older formats like that, you must have been playing Magic for a while, brother. So honestly, this hand feels like block Razor's Edge, block Sink Below, and then we get to Arsenal the Nimblism here. Because Nick might be trying to play like just the Pistola game here. And if that's the case, he hasn't seen another item yet or another way to get another item. So that's pretty good favor for me. Like the longer it takes Nick to find items here, the better. I hate to waste a sync on this, but not do anything else with it. Like, I'm just going to keep the Nimblism and just set up. Like, we could probably use Nimblism for a really good Codex turn now that we're going to have a certain card that I may or may not about to beat to Uzuri in our graveyard. I laughingly I say stuff like that when I'm like playing against like Nick or like somebody on the team. I don't mind to talk about my plays out loud because I know that like when we play and we're testing, like nobody on the team is letting what anybody's saying affect their decisions. We do our best to like play the game as though it would have been if we hadn't been talking out loud, and it's something I've always really appreciated about our team. We have a lot of good options here. We have a lot of good options right here. This hand, as Nathaniel would say, this is species spicy. Of course, saying that sentence out loud makes me want to jump off a cliff, but... And Nick passes. What are you, like, trying to fatigue me over there?
No.
So let's go Nimblism. Let's go E-Strike for 8, go again. Putting some good cards back into our deck. We're up 6 points. We are down 8 cards, but if Nick starts boosting at any point, then we just know that we're in a good spot. Like, because Nick will slowly start to catch us on cards. Nick Crown there without there being any threat of me actually doing something, which means I think he has the unmovable here, or he's looking to set up a really busted 5-card hand, which means I'm going to pick red. Oh my gosh. Mom, help me. What is his hand? 0 to 60, high octane, maximum velocity, combustible courier, zipper hit. Okay, so you can't play the maximum velocity with the way your hand's set up. So if I take high octane, you go combustible courier, 0 to 60, pistol me twice, which is a pretty good turn, but then you arsenal that maximum velocity, and you're just sitting on it until you find the hand, and then you're just taking damage, and I'm already up 18 points. Or I take the maximum velocity, give you a card that I don't know, and pray it's not a blue. I think I have to take the high octane here. I could take the combustible courier. That's always an option, but high octane and 0 to 60 is the start of a very dangerous combination. Yeah, I'm gonna take the high octane here. I think that's our best card to take here. Like, there's just nothing else that I'm gonna be taking. This hand's also like cracked. This hand's just like insanely good. Now it does only want to block with 1 card, so that is a little tough because none of the card, like at least Black Tech Whispers lets me block. Is there already a Razor's Edge over here? There is, and there's none of those. I think I'm just gonna block 5. I hate to use my crown here. I actually don't mind to use my crown here. It doesn't really matter what I'm crowning to the bottom here. I just want to churn through my deck to look for other cards that I may want. The Razor's Edge may come back. Like, we may hit second cycle this game. I don't know. Honestly, we might. Pistols me for 2. I'm taking 2 here. We will... Nick gets to connect. We go to 38. And then does not give go again and passes. So let's go again. We want to keep our snaps as long as possible. There were multiple hands last game when Snapdragons would have been really good for us. So we're just going to hang on to snaps here. The fact that Nick did not block tells me that he can probably play his maximum velocity. I bet he kept... so what I bet happened is that Nick arsenaled to 0 to 60, realizing that if his hand didn't work, he could just block with the maximum velocity. That's probably what I would have done, but that's also hindsight sitting here. Like, you know, hindsight's 2020. So we'll come in for 6. Like, Nick already has a frailty token from the Codex, and if this hits, we're going to give him a Pox token. Well, I mean, more than likely. Knowing that he has a maximum velocity in his hand or in his arsenal, that means if he gives me... Okay, so he blocks 3, so he's keeping his hand, which means he's playing everything, which means we're going to give him the Pox token here, which means strap in. This hand is going to be rough. Now, my hand's also pretty sweet. I'm probably just going to take whatever he does. I mean, it's very possible that Nick has a 24-point turn cobbled together here. Like, it's Dash. Dash can do some broken things. If you play Flesh and Blood and you don't respect Dash, I would advise you that you change that opinion, because Dash is like a very good hero. She just kind of unfortunately doesn't trade down very well against Lexi in the current metagame. And I say that to everybody. I promise you that is not with a lack of trying. I have tried to make Dash work in this metagame. And honestly, I hope she works. I hope she's like one of the best heroes in the format come Nationals time. Oh, don't you start with this T-bone nonsense. You leave my flick knives alone. Oh, you scumbag. You scumbag. Another night, another with you. So Nick taking Leave No Witnesses makes a lot of sense to me there. But it just, my hand works out in a way that him taking that, like, didn't really affect me in any way. Our armory only runs Blitz. How do you think this would do? I've got Arachne built, but could swap. So I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a big Blitz person. It's a very high rolly format in my opinion. But I mean, I could see Uzuri being a very solid play in Blitz. I mean, if you think about it, like the only problem is that you do get high rolled by certain decks, and I do think that could be a real problem for you. If you get high rolled by, like, you know, Rhinar, you just die in one turn, and Uzuri wants to play this fair, grindy value game, and you don't really get a ton of that in Blitz, in my opinion. So I mean, you could definitely try it though. I wouldn't shy away from trying it at all. Let's see. So Nimbalism, Infect for 6. So what was Nick's turn for? 4, 7, 11, 9 is 20, and then the pistol's 21. So our Codex of Frailty ended up being a 0 for 9 right there. And I'm going to break down how I got to 0 for 9, just to clarify for everybody, because sometimes I feel like people say numbers in Flesh and Blood and they don't explain where they come from. So my turn being a 0 for 9 simply comes from the idea that the Frailty token was worth 2 points. One, because it saved me a point off of the pistol, and it saved me a point off of the maximum velocity. It got me a card, or no, I'm sorry. Yeah, so Codex of Frailty was worth 6 because of Death Touch. It was worth 6, right? Is that what we got? Yeah. So it was worth 6 because of Death Touch. And then it was worth 3 because of the card that we got off the Ponder. The Ponder is worth 3 points because if you've never heard this expression, every card that you get in Flesh and Blood is worth on average 3 points. So, I guess we're gonna sink below this. Seems bad. I don't know. We get to have a pretty good turn. All right. So sorry. Anyway, the Codex gives us Death Touch, which is worth 6 points, and then the Ponder token is worth 3 points because your average card is worth 3 points, and then the Frailty token is worth 2 more points because one from the pistol, one from the maximum velocity. So our Codex was worth a total of 11 points. If you're new to Flesh and Blood and you're watching this, or you see this video on YouTube after I'm done, that is broken. If you don't understand how broken that is, you must be new to Flesh and Blood because that's like an absurdly above rate thing to do. So let's go Sedate. We also get to have a pretty stupid turn this turn too also. Like, this is going to be a pretty dumb turn. I feel like I'm saying that like every other turn. I mean, what have we played, Nick? 6 turns maybe?
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like this is like the second or third time I've said this turn's going to be pretty stupid. This game. We got to figure out how to beat Dromai with Uzuri. And then that's what I'm just probably going to be playing because it feels absurd. Problem is I have no idea how to beat Dromai. And from what I can tell, it appears nobody does. So, with Nick blocking 9, I'm just going to pass here. I don't need to Uzuri anything. Oh my gosh, this is absolutely bonkers. All right, so Ravenous Rabble for 4. Death Touch is on top of our deck. Knowing that Death Touch is on top of our deck gives us a whole other line of play here. So we get to go Dagger, Tunic, Death Touch. Yeah, so this turn's going to be really good. So we throw Rabble for 4. We're going to throw Spider's Bite here. Because based off the way Nick's played the game, I don't think he's on defense reactions this game. Feels like he's trying to race us and he just had some awkward hands to start the game. And then we're going to go Death Touch for 6. Nick blocks with 2 cards. We're going to go Snapdragons. Give it go again. We're going to play Codex. We're going to get a Leave No Witnesses. We're going to Leave No Witnesses for 4. Nick can't block this. He goes to 3. We get his Arsenal and a card from the top of his deck. We're going to go Infect, then Leave No Witnesses. Arsenal, a Death Touch that we knew was on top. And we drew a hand that this hand's just actually cracked. It's probably better to do this first as opposed to just having that card in my hand to play as a reaction. Just based off the way the game is going, I think we're just in a better spot if we do something like that. So we'll throw Death Touch for 6 here, which is just like insane value. We're going to Shred the Command and Conquer. Shred is like insane. Oh man, Reinforce the Line. Being really good here. No point in throwing the Nerve Scalpel here. We're not at the point where we're going to win the game with it, so Let's go Rabble for 4. We got a red shred on top. So that's probably a terrifying thing to see if you're sitting on the other side of the table from an Uzuri player when you're at 3. And then we're going to go 3 Dominate. And we're going to play Spike with Blood Rot in hopes that we don't... Nick does not have... So Reinforce the Lion won't save him here, so because of the high Octane block. So, man. Dude,
Good game, brother.
Yeah, good game, man. I appreciate you playing tonight.
Yeah, no problem.
You getting out of here?
Yeah, man, I'm out of here.
All right, man.
Get up early. All right, man.
Sounds good. I'll talk to you later, buddy.
See you, man.
See ya. All right, so about 3.5 hours now. We've played 7 games. I'm 6-1. The one loss that we had was game number 3. Nick was playing Bravo with every defense reaction he had in his deck. Sinks, Fates, red unmovables, blue unmovables. So it was like 12. It probably wasn't 12, but it was like 10 defense reactions. It was an insane high. It was an insanely high number. And like, I mean, dude, like Uzuri has felt stupid all night. Like, I was honestly hoping that it was just not going to be as good as it is, but like, Uzuri just feels broken. Now, again, I go back to like my point of like, I don't really know where you sit with the whole Dromai matchup. But Uzuri does feel very broken. Yeah, like I don't know, like Uzuri, like it's just been insane tonight. Like I played Dash, I played against Rhinar, I played against Bravo, like we played against a few different decks and I was kind of just picking them all apart. Now I know that every deck I played against is like a fair deck, so that like doesn't really help a lot, but I don't know, like it felt very good tonight and very strong. I'm gonna go on my Twitch rant here before I get off for the evening. You know, I had a couple new follows tonight on Twitch, and guys, I really appreciate y'all watching me on Twitch and follow me. It means a lot, and I appreciate the support. Being a small streamer, seeing somebody new pop up in your chat, really means a lot. But with Twitch's guideline policy changes, I'm sure you guys have heard about this. Twitch changed their guideline policies to where you can no longer multi-stream at all. So last year, Twitch changed it to where if you were an affiliate, you could not multi-stream and make any money with them. So I cut my affiliacy or like my affiliate program with them so that I could multi-stream and reach a larger audience, because I just want to stream to as many people as possible because I love to play games and I love to talk to the community. And so I cut my affiliate program status with them so that I could do that. So I was no longer having any revenue from Twitch. And now they've made it to where if you're multi-streaming on Twitch at all and other platforms, they're going to ban you. So starting July 1st, I'm going to be streaming on YouTube, Kick, and Facebook. I will no longer be on Twitch. So if you like my content and you want to support me, you can find me on YouTube. You can hit !YouTube in the chat, !Kick if you guys have a Kick account. And you can hit !Facebook if y'all like watching Facebook Live. And I post like shorts and like, reels and stuff like that to my social media accounts when I make them and stuff. It's about once a week. And I post a video once or twice a week on YouTube that's not me just streaming. It's like, like actual content, whether it be a deck tech or like a match that I really liked from one of the games that I played over the course of my stream. Or, sometimes we do like, pack one, pick one with the team and some random stuff like that. So there's a lot of content out there that I've made. If you guys want to take a look at it, I'd really appreciate it. I'm going to end my rant. Thanks for the follows on Twitch tonight. I appreciate you guys hanging out, and I will be back this weekend. Have a good week, guys.